Hi everyone, so the page is loading at the moment and hopefully everyone will be able to hear as that starts to go live. It looks like we're going live now, so bear with me as I try and get on my lives. Yes, it looks like everyone, so the page is loading at the moment and hopefully okay, so every day I'm getting used to a bit more tech. So apart from haven't got the studio with best lighting at the moment. So hopefully you're all well. It's Saturday, it's 8 p.m. in the UK, so I've no idea. If anyone's watching at the moment, you can drop in the comments what country you're in, or let me know afterwards. So today we are exploring play and curiosity. So equipment time. Okay, so let's hope that stays on. I'm keeping an eye on my mic because they've been going off now. So play and curiosity. So welcome to day 6 of the 7-day challenge. And yesterday we practiced pause, the power of stillness, the wisdom of choosing instead of reacting. So today we shift into a lighter energy of play and curiosity. So, because here's the truth, adults forget to play. We're busy working, shopping, running around, and sometimes we actually just forget to play and have fun. And we think curiosity is something that you grow out of or don't realize the value of it actually and the importance of it. But play and curiosity are actually rocket fuel for resilience, creativity, and joy. And they are what keeps us alive. So, the positive psychology researcher Barbara Fredrickson Broaden did the broaden and build theory, shows that emotions like joy, play, and curiosity expand your mindset, spark creativity, and build long-term resilience. And without play, life just becomes survival. With play, we discover, experiment, laugh, and learn. So curiosity turns problems into possibilities. So I know myself, I can get too focused, too driven, too caught up in all the work I'm doing and can forget to think about play or having some fun. And then I do something like walking to a new place or listening to music that I've never heard of laughing with friends. And that's why I like doing the Mind, Body and Spirit festivals, because there's lots of different things that I can do there. And this year, around teaching the workshop that I was doing, I did a sound healing class, I went to a workshop, I listened to a talk, and it was nice and it's fun. Sometimes it's a bit deep and sometimes it's light and it's fun. And then I sit outside in the sun listening to the music and it's really cool. So it's also about just not focusing on the schedule, even though in many of the other conversations that I have with clients or in the 30-day program, I do encourage people to create some kind of plan and the way that we manage our week or how we use our time. It's very important to look at that. But we've got to be careful. You know, there's always a risk of becoming too rigid, too free flowing, too rigid. You know, we sort of need that balance sometimes. And so it's really good to just go out and explore, find something unexpected, taste food you've never tried, and that's curiosity, and also play. So the affirmation with this is curiosity leads me forward and play keeps me alive. And one of the common things that people can experience is they can actually feel really bored, sat on the sofa, don't want to watch the same movies or read the books or anything like that. Nothing pulls them. And sometimes, not in all cases, but sometimes if we trust the process and be still and just be in that space, sometimes we have a burst of ideas or desire to move something forward, you know, try something, call up a friend and go and do something new. And that's how I ended up doing some of the things I did in the past. I joined a meetup group in 2011. I was studying a lot. I was busy working. I'd been bringing up the kids, and then I thought it's time to get out, socialize, and have some fun. And then I've done that in different ways since. When I finished at the council a few years ago, I wanted to learn how to do the kayaking. So I got some lessons and started doing that. And then in the last few years, I've given stand-up paddle boarding a go and absolutely love that as well. So Think about in your life already where you play, where the curiosity gets activated in you. And sometimes that's through when we are doing something through fire. And today I was playing with my granddaughter. She is going to be turning 5 in a few weeks, and she's got a scooter. And me and her were on the scooter riding down the hilly road at speed a couple of times. So we had to keep stopping so that we just didn't fly down there at like 20 miles an hour. But it was a lot of fun. And even though she's shouting, stop, stop, you can see the joy and delight on her face. She's absolutely loving it, and she's trusting me who stood behind her on the scooter. And we did that a few times because where my family live, they live not up a hill, but it's like up a steep road. And so walking up there is a bit of a climb, and then we come down on the scooter. So it's really good because when I go over there, I leave the laptop and I switch off and I just spend time with her. And before we did that, I took my oil paints. Like I've said before, can't really paint, but you can play around with different materials. I take different things to paint, and both of us were in my camper van, and I got all the paints out, and we were just playing for a few hours, and it was a lot of fun. So the tarot card in this is the Fool. So I'm just going to check that you'll be able to see this. So I do apologise about the light, but you know, this is about as good as I can get it. So in other tarot decks, you actually see the man on the cliff, hedging towards the cliff with a little dog. And in this one, she looks like she's just about, I don't know why the focus on that is so bad. On this one, she's about to lean backwards and just feel totally free. And, you know, there's a lot of light in the card, and there's a lot of glittery sights. It's very blue, it's very healing, and there's just a lot of flow in that. And sometimes that's what that's about. So just tune in even to the energy of the card, the Fool, and think about play and curiosity. So the Fool isn't foolish, he's playful, he's curious, he's stepping into the unknown with trust and lightness. And that's one of the things that a lot of people really struggle to do, is to sit with the unknown. And we can often plan our weeks and our work schedule or projects and time with friends, but also leaving some space. And sometimes the unknown is the bigger stuff. Maybe you want to move, but you don't know where to yet. You want to go and explore, but you haven't figured that out either. So sometimes, and at the moment, a lot of things feel uncertain, and a lot of people in the spiritual circles are also really struggling to really connect with their own intuition. And sometimes staying in the unknown, and that can bring up a lot of anxiety, means that people often move out of themselves to go and see tarot readers, go to gurus, go to events. And doing that occasionally can be okay, but also there is something about building up that mental muscle and that resilience so that you can trust in the lightness and in the process. And have a think about all the times in the past where maybe you've been in the unknown and you haven't really known when something's going to work out, and that it did work out and something did shift. Okay, so now the journal prompts, and like I said, I will put these under the videos, is what sparks your curiosity or makes you smile. So make sure you've got the journal book with you and a pen. You can always buy journals off my Amazon page, and I'll put the link below as well. I've got some nice journals off there. I keep the pages really blank. I'm a bit quirky. I don't like lines in books. I like writing on blank pages. So and where in your week can you bring in more play and joy? And even if that is in your lunchtime or going for a walk in the morning, or you know, doing something online with friends or meeting up with people and doing something fun. When was the last time that you let yourself try something new just for fun? You know, you wanted to do dance lessons. I wanted to do salsa years ago, and I think I did a 6-week course and I ended up doing it for 2 years until they moved out the area and went further down. And I was really struggling to get there at the time that they were starting. So where can you bring in more play, and where can you bring in something new? So today, or tomorrow, depends on your time zone, just choose one playful thing to do, something small, something simple. And it could be, like I said, trying a new food, or trying a different route on the way to work, because sometimes we do the same thing every day, go to the same route, we don't try different roads. And every time I go away, especially when I was going to places I've been to before, I always try to go on a different route to see what else I could discover, and that's curiosity. So curiosity isn't childish, it's life-giving, it's a life force, and play isn't wasting time. Anyone knows that's got young children, or cousins, nephews, nieces, that when you're out there playing with them, football, cricket, getting out into the playground, the park, basketball, then you can have a lot of fun. And sometimes it just feels like time is disappearing, and we've got to allow ourselves to do that and not always be too busy, because that's one thing we can't get back, is the time. So it's about renewing your spirit, and when you bring play, curiosity back into your life, everything gets lighter, and sometimes that's exactly what opens up the next door for you. And that could be work, relationships, opportunities. Somebody calls you up and says, hey. So if you haven't got enough play and fun things to do in your life, even tonight when you lay on the bed, visualize and say to the universe, I'm ready for some fun and play. I'm inviting lighter hearted energy into my space as I imagine all the possible things that I could do if money was no object and time was no object, and I didn't have to be in work for the next month. What would I do? What am I putting off that I could do? Okay, so none of that is wasted time. So, like I said, I've got some journals online if you want to do that. And I'm looking at doing some bonus days. I don't know when they'll be, maybe at some point in the week next week. And as I said yesterday, if anyone is doing the 7-day challenge, whether you are doing it live or listening to the recording, and you've done the 7 days and you've done at least one journal prompt today, contact me on mailgbb555@hotmail.com and put in the subject bar 7-day challenge, and you'll be invited to a workshop free of charge. So after this, what is that? Well, I'm always coming up with new ideas to look at how we can start to move further forward to create a life that we love, whether that is breaking free from situations that are dragging us down, are heavy and don't serve us anymore, or whether that is about creating and designing a life, utilizing some of the tools that you've got already, or whether that is workshops or doing some yoga sessions or these 7-day challenges. And I'm probably going to do more, but I do have a trip coming up soon, and there is a separate playlist for the changing spaces through the lens, where I'll be starting to film the different places that I'm visiting on my trips as I make my way up east of England. I'm going up this time rather than going down south. So, like I said, I just want to say that if you have shown up and taken part, it's very much appreciated. Like and subscribe and press that bell so you get the notification. Tomorrow is the last day of this challenge, and like I said, I've got a couple of days of bonuses where we look at integrating this into our system. So I'll give you a chance to catch up if you haven't watched the video so far, and use the journals, because when you ask yourself those questions, then it's about you being interested as to what comes up for you. And sometimes it's almost like when we start to ask the questions, we are prompting our brain to wake up and start considering things in a different way. And sometimes the most amazing things can come out of some very simple shifts. So on day one and on the preview on Sunday, I talked about the scale, and I give that out for people who email me with the ebook and the affirmation book. And the scale is if 10 is feeling amazing and 1 is feeling terrible. Where were you on the scale before we started tonight? And then where are you now? And if you're going to show up tomorrow, do the same thing. Ask yourself, check in with yourself, where are you on the scale? And sometimes that alone can show you how quickly you can change states. So we've done so far the foundations of empowerment, the power of small wins, shifting your states, gratitude in action, actually radical gratitude, the pause button, the importance of pause and rest, play and curiosity today. So have a think about where you play for, and tomorrow the permission to rest. And all of these factors are really important in our life, in terms of not working so hard that we don't have any fun and not have any rest at all. So sometimes we have to go full on throttle, and other times we can catch up and have some rest. Everyone's situations are completely different. I will be doing a set of prompts also on a relationship challenge that I'm going to do. And there will be some journal prompts and scaling associated with that. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, then do like and subscribe, because I will be sending out some information over the coming weeks about the relationship series that may follow a similar pattern to the 30-day programs that I've got, level 1 and level 2. And we should be on day 6 on the September's Change, Grow and Transform series, or the Spiritual Empowerment Program. So level 1, level 2, they've got different videos, but the format is the same, and every day has a tarot. And if you're interested in what tarot I'm using, like I said yesterday, I'm using these ones. They're really nice. The visuals, the drawings and the artwork on them are much nicer than I can give credit to, using the terrible lighting in here. So yeah, thanks for listening. Hopefully you like what I'm doing. And if you want to find out more about the trips, I've uploaded some videos over the last few days that are going to be released over this next week to give you more of an insight of what that's going to cover. So all for now, see you tomorrow.